When we move on to talking about revenue functions, R of X is going to represent the total revenue from producing and selling X units of some product. Revenue is generated by selling X units at a price point of P dollars per item, meaning we can calculate revenue as number of items sold times the price point per item, or X times P. But as we just talked about, we typically have that price demand function, P of X, where P is some function of X. So this would be X times our function, P of X. So to generate a revenue function, assuming we have a price demand function, we can take that given price demand function and then multiply by X. So let's look at a couple of examples where we set up a revenue function. In example 3, we're given a price demand function, which is already solved for P, so it's in that form P of X, where X is the number of items that can be sold at a price of P dollars per unit. We want to generate the revenue function. As we stated above, to generate a revenue function, we take X times P of X. So in this case, we would take X times this function, 16 minus square root X, and then distributing through, we would get 16x minus X times, if we rewrote this, X to the 1/2. And then we can multiply those two variable statements together by combining the exponents, or by adding the exponents, to give us X to the 3/2. In example 4, we have a very similar problem. We want to generate a revenue function given a price demand function, but what we start off with is a price demand function that's solved for X. So the first thing that we would need to do in this case is solve for P. This is actually exactly the same problem that we already tackled in a previous example, and we found that P of X in this case would end up being equal to negative 0.1x plus 200. So to generate our revenue function, R of X, we would take X times that price demand function, which has been solved for P, and again, distribute through. So this would give us negative 0.1x squared plus 200x. So once we have our price demand function, establishing a revenue function is as simple as taking that price demand function times X, and then just distributing through and simplifying any pieces.